I'm Tom Gibbs, and I work for the National WWII Museum in New Orleans, Louisiana. Tonight, I'm guest hosting Facebook Live for the National Memorial Day concert here in Washington, D.C. I'm honored to speak with Lieutenant Jim Downing, one of the oldest Pearl Harbor survivors. Lieutenant Downing, I understand you served on the USS West Virginia that fateful morning. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
It had been my home for 9 years. I used to boast about my rich uncle who gave me a $45 million home to live in.
Wow. Can you, that morning of December 7th, can you tell me a little bit about what it was like to wake up that morning?
Yes, I'd recently been married, so I was off the ship. My wife was fixing breakfast when I heard the explosions. We turned on the radio. The announcer said, "We have been advised by Army and Navy intelligence that the island of Oahu is under enemy attack. The enemy has not been identified." A few minutes later, he came on and said the enemy has been identified as Japan. My companions and I raced down the harbor about 15 minutes away, and I'll never forget the first look at my ship in the harbor. My ship, the West Virginia, was struck with 9 Japanese torpedoes. Pearl Harbor is a shallow harbor, only about 5 feet under us. So the ship sunk down in the mud, and everything above the waterline was on fire when I reached it.
Now, there's a lot going on that day, and I'm sure a lot of it was wiped out by fear and confusion and things like that. Is there one thing that really sticks out in your mind from that fateful day?
Yes, I think I kind of worked up to it. The first thing was surprise. The next thing was fright. The first Japanese plane I saw came flying in low and slow at an angle toward me, turned his machine gun loose on me, but he didn't make far enough. They went over my head and dug a trench behind. So the war became very personal at that point. But my greatest moment was pride on the magnificent way that our men, without leadership, without training, acquitted themselves so nobly. Without respect to their own safety, they did what needed to be done.
Absolutely. When you think about that day 70 years later, you just mentioned pride in your shipmates and your fellow servicemen. What message would you want the younger generations to have regarding your service, and especially what happened at Pearl Harbor?
Yes, it was Julius Caesar who first said, "The best way to keep peace is to be ready for war." President George Washington repeated that. And then in 1983, Ronald Reagan made a speech. The title of the speech was "Peace Through Strength." He coined a phrase that I try to get the generation to memorize, 3 words in it, and that is, weakness invites aggression. I saw no parking sign the other day that said, "Don't even think about parking here." So my word to the generation, I talk to many students, is keep America so strong in cyberspace, in space, in the skies, on the ground, on the sea and under the sea. So strong that no potential aggressor will even think about attacking us.
Absolutely. Well, sir, I sincerely appreciate your time to share a little bit of your stories here today. It's incredibly important that we take the stories of your generation and use them not only to educate future servicemen and women, but also educate the general public. So I want to sincerely thank you for your service, and I really, really appreciate the time that you spent here with us today. So
yes.
Thank you very much.
It's been an honor to be with you.
Thank you, sir. For those watching at home, the National Memorial Day concert airs tonight only on PBS. Please check your local listings.